Hey, it's Nitya, joining you today to talk about Paris Hilton and her new son. If you are interested in Bazi Chinese Astrology, all things feng shui, you have come to the right place. I like to keep it real and authentic, and I also like to weave in a little inspiration in these readings. I was happy to see today that this reading is something uplifting, it's something happy and positive for a change, that nobody's died, nobody's acting crazy out there, at least not anything that's hitting the news. Anyway, Paris Hilton is born February 17th, 1981 at 2:30 in the morning in New York City. She's born in the year of Yin Metal Rooster, the month of Yang Metal Tiger, and the day of Yang Fire Tiger, the hour of Yin Earth Ox. The thing I have to say, as many of you have gotten readings from me, and thank you for that. And I've so enjoyed the 30-minute Zoom Q&As that we've been having, because I don't know anything about people when I do their reading. Now, I will say, if it's a celebrity, you kind of peek around Wikipedia and try to figure out some of their life just for reference, mostly for me. And then it's like I meet these people, I meet you, and I am surprised and not surprised that the readings are so accurate. That, like the person I met with yesterday, one of the people I met with yesterday, it's like I was so happy for her that through Bazi Astrology, you are able to answer the questions that have been plaguing you sometimes most of your life of why certain things go the way they do. Whether it's why does my work seem to forever hit dead ends, or why do my relationships fizzle out before they've even taken off? Sometimes our charts really reveal, actually often they reveal exactly what we need to know to better understand. It's not that it changes anything, but understanding allows you to navigate through things a lot more successfully than just walking as a victim through your life, right? So if you're interested in getting your own Bazi Chinese Astrology reading, just go to nityaliving.com. So let's look at this lovely person. She is really, really smart. I'll tell you that. She also, where is that book? And it's funny, I love the books that I reference. They've been so used, they're falling apart. They're like held together. I don't want to replace them. Anyway, so one other thing that I love is that this is someone who is destined to be successful. Let's just put that there. She's also someone who is destined to be spoiled and over-coddled. Go figure. And then the other thing that's super strong in her chart is money, 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 the potential for wealth, for a luxury lifestyle, for somebody who can be lazy, a daydreamer, an idealist, head in the clouds, somebody who loves to spend money, and also has a very active social life. She's a socialite. Kind of all goes together. She's also someone who really needs life to be in balance. And she's great at making friendships, but she really needs to kind of work. As far as her work goes, she does better when she can be independent in her job. So as we look at her relationships, this was really kind of an interesting thing. I always love to see how people's relationships with their families are. Her dad shows up as her father, which is a lovely thing when the exact placement shows up where it should. So her dad is her dad. He also is going to leave her a nice inheritance, no doubt. And there's a lot of love there. As far as her mom goes, well, her mom is a tiger and she's born on the day of the tiger, which means that her romantic partners mirror very much her relationship with her mom. These are people who she sees as inspiration. She sees them as her guides, her guardians, her wise teachers. And I would say that there's also a friendship to be found here, as well as a partnership and a feeling of equality, and also fun play, fun activities, working on projects together. So then we look at her year of a yin metal rooster. Well, that's yin metal, yin metal. This is all money. And of course, her ancestors, her relatives, the Hilton family. So that makes sense. Her hour of yin earth ox, again, just like her year, yin earth is, and ox is yin earth. So we've got a double influence here. And this speaks of her career. Now, just to note, her hour is in a void. And when you have a void in the hour, especially when we're looking at your career, it shows volatility, instability, changeability. And we've certainly seen that with her. She's had her hat in many different things. And so then we look at her career being an ox, very hardworking, someone who puts a lot of herself into her job. This is a work that gives her responsibilities. It gives her money. It also is where she directs all of her intelligence, her knowledge, and her intuition. And I would also add that this is something that her career, it allows her to divine her own path in life. It allows her a certain amount of rebellion and something that is very much her creation. As a person born in the year of the rooster, oh my gracious, I've said this before about roosters. Now, this isn't sitting in her day. This is her year, which is more of an overarching theme. But this is someone who is likely to want to be seen, to be in the spotlight, to flaunt herself, to show off her stylish self. And the day being a tiger is somebody that is very independent, a bit volatile, all over the place, gets really into a project, moves on to something else, maybe has several pots on the burner going at the same time, modeling, writing books, making music. She's got a lot of talents. Interestingly enough, creativity doesn't show up so strong, but I will say if there were a creative verb for her, it really is in writing. That does show up. So then we go into looking at her hour through the lens of her children. And for her sun shows up as her sun. It is the exact placement. But again, there being a void here shows trouble with having children, infertility issues. She had her child via surrogate. She also, this can play out as someone who is either emotionally or physically distant from their child. Maybe you travel for your job, so you have a nanny taking care of them a lot. Things like that. It could also mean that as that child grows up, there seems to be a lot of distance. So then I want to look at the trajectory of her Lux cycles to show you how when an element is weak in your chart, for instance, the weakest element she has is water. There's just a trace amount, just 2%. And even though Her her metal is so strong. It's whacked down by the fact that she is born in the month of the tiger. So let's look at the balance here real quick. So she's a fire person, balanced at 20%. What nurtures her, wood, is balanced at 19%. What she produces and creates, also 19%, very balanced. Metal starts out at 40%, very, very, very strong, but it's whacked down to like 34, 35% because she has the month being in the tiger. And again, water is a trace amount at 2%. And this is her romantic partnerships. This is her, also her career. So this is interesting. Notice that her career takes off when water appears. Interesting. This is how we see it happen. It's ignited. The water flows in, her career takes off. Notice that this current luck cycle she is in, she hasn't been in the news very much. And the water isn't there. So it really shows a shift has happened. Maybe that 20 years was the highlight of her career. Maybe things now are shifting to something different. And I'll talk about that a little later. So her first luck cycle was when she was age 5. And I'll mention there is something about the month that she was born that suggests her first year of life, her infancy. There might have been an illness or something that was bringing a risk to her safety and her life. But then her second luck cycle, again, we now shift into water. This is a yang water dragon. Dragon is watery earth, very swamp-like. And this shows with that yang water a launch of a career, but also people in her life that were dominating, were critical, demanding, obstinate, and there are authority figures here that could have caused her harm. This is during the time when she started her modeling career. This is 1996, by the way. Her reality show, The Simple Life, started in 2003, ran to 2007. She had a movie role in 2005. Also to note, though, with all this career stuff happening, and the dragon brings in a lot of fun projects, being very active. It also shows mention of her mother and legal matters, and it also shows romantic relationships and having added responsibilities. I'm not exactly sure when the sex tape came out. It might have been in the next luck cycle, which would make more sense, and I'll explain that in a minute. But at the age of 16, because she was being so crazy, going out, sneaking out at night, and ditching school, her parents put her in a boarding school where she has documented she was verbally and physically abused. So again, that is definitely a yang water influence happening there. So then she moves into the next luck cycle, ages 25 to 34. Yin water snake brings a continued focus on responsibilities and her career, and also a real focus on herself, strong, independent, confident, and that this is also highlighting her friendships, like Nicole Richie and some of her other friends. And the TV show is still going on because this luck cycle started in 2006. So during this luck cycle, interesting, there is a partial punishment with this snake and her 2 tigers, suggesting lawsuits, again, reference to the sex tape, lawsuits, legal things happening, Also, a risk to her health, her safety, and also the snake brings in a full metal trio, which is money. Very successful time for her. There's mention of her dad. Fun projects are continuing, not as much, but still there. And this is also when the term celebutante came out, because she, you know, it's kind of like the Kardashians. It's like you're famous for being famous. You find your talents through the fact that you were born famous, you know. So that's kind of, all of that's happening. Then we move into her current luck cycle, ages 35 to 44, a Yang Wood horse. This brings in fire into her chart, which is herself. There is, in this time, Yang Wood is bringing her resources, help from outside. For instance, finding a surrogate for her mother, for her child. And this is a time of learning and being inspired in new ways. It could even suggest a spiritual awakening, a deepening of her faith. This is a time for Paris when she's discovering new aspects of herself. Her friendships are changing in this time, and her brothers are highlighted, and also things happening with her father. It foretells a son. It foretells that there is change happening, and she is intuiting how to navigate through that change. Interesting that this year is a yin water rabbit year, and it is highlighting work for her, added responsibilities, her marriage, family, and the rabbit is about motherhood. It gives me goosebumps to say it. This woman is in a nest this year, absolutely in a nest, diving down into her own little bunny burrow. And I think that this time of motherhood is going to spur a new chapter for her in her life, in her career. And her career is highlighted this year, but I'm kind of wondering what she's going to do with this role of motherhood. And that's going to be an interesting journey. I'm not sure about the day of her son's birth, because when I looked around, there was it was announced in different outlets, media outlets, on January 24th and 25th. I don't know if when she announced it was the day he was born or just when she decided to announce it. So if it's January 24th, 2023, he's still actually in the year of the tiger. So he's born in the year of the tiger, mom's day of the tiger. And it would be the month of the ox and the day of a yang water horse. Horsey people, very impulsive and passionate and active, go-getters, and very independent. And yeah, I'm curious to see if that's the way that flies, if that's accurate or not. Feel free to pop in the comments if you know the little man's real birthday. But if this is his day, his dad shows up as being a friend, someone he is close to. His mother shows up as somebody who is very focused on his welfare, very focused on making sure he has what he needs to thrive in life. And there's also mention of a friendship, a partnership, closeness there, as well as this beautiful kernel of mother to him as well, a nurturing quality that is there. And the horse and the tiger bring fire. So this little kid's got a lot of water. And so the fire is good to help control some of that. And I don't know his hour of birth, but again, if you know any of this birth information, feel free to put it in the comments. So I'm really happy for Paris. I think that this is a gorgeous chapter of her life. This year is going to feel like a sweet time for her as she's nesting. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon. And in the meantime, be well.